From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. Prime Minister Mark Carney isn't ruling out putting Canadian troops on the ground in Ukraine as a part of an eventual security guarantee against Russia. Carney made a surprise visit to Kyiv and held a news conference with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
It is not, in Canada's judgment, it is not realistic that the only security guarantee could be the strength of the Ukrainian armed forces in the medium term. So that needs to be buttressed, it needs to be reinforced.
Carney also announced $2 billion of military aid in a package for Ukraine on the country's Independence Day anniversary. Pope Leo XIV has prayed for peace in Ukraine as he marked the country's Independence Day with a special appeal during his weekly noon blessing. He says in Italian the faithful are joining Ukrainians, asking the Lord give peace to their martyred land.
Oggi ci uniamo ai nostri fratelli ucraini, i quali, con iniziativa spirituale, preghiera mondiale per l'Ucraina, chiedono che il Signore doni la pace al loro martoriato paese.
Leo also sent a telegram to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, assuring his prayers for all Ukrainians who are suffering. 4 Palestinians were shot dead while trying to reach a food distribution point south of Gaza City. The region is enduring a famine after 22 months of war, while Israeli forces prepare for an offensive to seize the city. The health ministry says at least 62,686 Palestinians have been killed in the war, with more than 2,000 people killed while seeking aid. Aid groups are warning that starvation is worsening in the enclave due to restricted supplies. Researchers have found a link between some popular weight loss drugs and overall lower risks of cancer. A new study looked at 86,000 people with the conditions of overweight or obesity and found GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic, Wegovy, and others were linked to a 17% reduction in the risk for certain obesity-related cancers. Board-certified neurologist Dr. Leah Kroll says this could be a breakthrough, but you need to be mindful of possible side effects from the drugs.
Yes, this is a medical revolution. Yes, this is exciting and encouraging, but that doesn't mean these drugs are without serious side effects and risks that have to be taken into consideration.
Kroll says the study is observational and doesn't prove cause and effect. Outside of Black Rock, Nevada, Burning Man 2025 will begin its annual week-long celebration in the desert with thousands of people expected to show up. San Franciscan Micah Burns says it's a highlight of his year.
Funnest things in the world, Burning Man. Just meet new friends and find weird things out there.
Attendance was down in last year after the festival in 2023 was flooded out and intense mud trapped revelers at the festival site for several days. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Jacob Marcy hit a bases-loaded triple. Yuri Perez pitched into the 7th inning to lead the Miami Marlins past the Toronto Blue Jays 5-3. Eric Wagaman homered and scored twice for Miami, while Agustin Ramirez added an RBI single. Leila Fernandez cruised to a 6-2, 6-1 win over fellow Canadian Rebecca Marino in the first-round women's singles action at the U.S. Open. Fernandez had 1 ace and 3 double faults, but converted on all 5 of her breakpoint opportunities. Carson Wentz is back in the NFL, and Sam Howell is on the move again. The Minnesota Vikings have signed Wentz to back up quarterback J.J. McCarthy and traded Howell to the Philadelphia Eagles. The reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles are sending a 2026 fifth-round draft pick and 2027 seventh-rounder to Minnesota for Howell and a 2027 sixth-rounder. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.